What is up, YouTube? I'm going to do a quick review today of the Hisense 65H8C. Kind of tough to say. I'm not a professional reviewer. This is actually my first product review, so y'all play nice in the comments for me. I'm not going to get in depth like the guys at Ratings, who are fantastic, by the way. I'm not going to do tests. I don't have any measuring tools. So really, this is just one guy's opinion. And obviously, I'm sure they're going to do a review of this TV at some point, rendering my review obsolete. So let's get into it. Honestly, the only reason I wanted to review this panel, because there's a ton of reviews of the previous smaller version, the 55-inch, and I think the 50-inch, but for this one, the 65-inch, I believe it's a little different. The word coming out on the 55 was that the viewing angles were really bad, and there were a couple other minor issues that had some people a little disappointed on that set. So for the 65-inch, those issues are not present in terms of viewing angles. It still retains pretty good black levels. We'll get into that in a minute. So my thought on this is it's a different panel. It's probably an IPS panel, not a VA panel, because it doesn't suffer at an angle. So let's get into it. Who is this set for? Well, this set is for someone who wants decent size, or pretty, 65 is a big set, wants a big set, doesn't want to spend top tier 940D, 940E money, Samsung 8000 series money, doesn't want to spend OLED money, but has some demands in a set that are above and beyond what you're going to find in the really bottom of the barrel pricing. So this one actually has pricing that's competitive at the lower end, but has features that are competitive in that power band in the mid tier. What I like to say about this set is that it's a good 80-20 solution, in that you're going to get 80% of the features that you're going to need. That last 20% is going to be that P series Vizio or 940D, new 940E Sony set that's got a lot more brightness and can take full advantage of HDR, and maybe doesn't have some of the quality control issues, be it from backlight issues, black uniformity issues, things like that. But that 20%, that last 20%, is going to cost 2 or 3 times what this set is going to run. So for most people, this is probably a really good set. For people even with some significant demands, for a lot of them, this TV will satisfy it at a price point that's hyper competitive. So pros on this set: really good black levels, so that was surprising to me. Good contrast. Colors are great on this set. Out of the box, they're terrible. They're absolutely hammered. It's super oversaturated. Everything is really hot, and that's not even in a vivid mode. So you'll need to calibrate it a little bit. I'll post some of my settings in the descriptions with a couple of demo tests you can run. 4K demo, general video demos you can run to see how your set looks. One caveat though, I generally like my set a little hotter, a little brighter than the reference standard, so just keep that in mind. So good color, good contrast, good blacks. Motion's actually pretty good on this set. I haven't noticed a lot of issues, even though it's a 60 hertz panel, which is going to scare a lot of people away. I've played 4K Blu-ray. I've played some content off of a Plex media server, so 1080p, 24p content. Haven't noticed judder. I'm sure there's some judder present, but I've seen judder in really, really bad sets before, and this is nothing like that. So even at 60 hertz, I watched a little bit of college basketball, didn't notice any motion issues there either. I'll play a little bit of that 24p content here in a minute, just to give you an example. Obviously, another pro, the biggest pro for this set is the price point. I paid $725 after a $25 discount for Visa checkout on Best Buy's website. Was delivered the next day. That's going to be the biggest pro, and I think for people who are going to pick on this set, and we'll get into cons in a minute, they have to keep that in mind. They have to keep that price point in mind, what you're going to pay for this relative to what you have to pay to get something better. So with that, let's talk about cons a little bit. Some people are reporting early on that 4K from the native apps streaming YouTube and Netflix is not present, and it's rendering in 1080p. So that could be a little bit of a problem. I noticed it as well, and I'll post some example of how I noticed that here in a minute. Also, there have been some black uniformity issues, which you're going to get with an edge-lit set. I didn't have a lot. I kind of got lucky, I think, on the set that I got. A little bit of flashlighting in the bottom corner that I don't even really notice, even on black bars, watching a movie in a dark room. There is kind of a torture test that I'm going to link below that you can run yours through, that Sony put out for their contrast demo for the 940 and 930. That'll show you just where your set falls short. And if you get this set and you run that and you can live with it, then this is the set for you. Who does this compete with? Well, like I've already said, it doesn't compete at the very top end of the spectrum, and it destroys the bottom end of the spectrum. It competes more, in my mind, with maybe the Vizio M series and almost to the Sony 850D series. So Sony 850D is going to be brighter, going to be better with HDR content than this set, but it's going to have some issues with black uniformity, probably more than this Hisense set, based on what I've seen on like AVS forum and some Slick Deal posts as well. Really, I think the top comparison would have to be the Vizio M set, and for me, I think this is a better buy. The thing that plagues the Vizio set, even though I really like it from a picture quality standpoint, is it doesn't get bright enough. And this one, I think, is going to fall in between, say, the Vizio M and a Vizio P series in terms of features and brightness and ability to take advantage of HDR. This one will not take full advantage of HDR. It does not get bright enough to do that. If you need that level of HDR and you want to completely future-proof, and this is for your theater room, then you probably want to pony up the dough for an 8000 Samsung or a 940D or E 930 Sony set, or maybe even OLED. But this does get a little pop with HDR. It does get bright enough to get some of that, and I think that's another difference in this set and the 55 in terms of where this one's better and how this is a completely different TV. Based on the ratings reviews and the output in nits that they showed for the 55, I can't imagine this one isn't considerably brighter. It's got to be. So if you're looking at a Vizio M that's going to be more expensive, I think this one's going to be more competitive. But you might, right now, middle of February, you might want to wait if you're looking for something that does a lot with HDR and gets really bright and has a lot of features, and you need it for your theater room and you're going to spend a little more money. You might want to wait and see what the H9D series looks like from Hisense and what the new next line of Vizio M sets, because I think they're going to be an improvement on the 2016s, and they'll probably be out in a couple of months. So in conclusion, really great set for the money. There's nothing that's going to touch it at $750. There's just not. It does well with motion, does great with video games. I didn't notice any input lag. I played a first-person shooter on Xbox One, didn't notice any input lag. All in all, it's a really strong buy, y'all. If you want a 65-inch, under $1,000, and you can live with not having the best of the best, but you want to save a little money, this is the TV for you. So that's it, y'all. Honestly, there's not a whole lot more I can say about this set. I'd be happy to answer any questions in the comments. Feel free to give me a comment. Let me know how I did. Let me know how I can get better. And subscribe if you want to. I'm going to probably put out a lot more content as I I have it available from a consumer electronics standpoint. Again, happy to answer any questions you might have, and happy to run any tests that you might want me to run that I'm capable of doing. And I'll post any responses to the comments below. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great day.